We're almost 1 week past Christmas. Opening day is quickly approaching, and somehow, almost all 30 teams still have major roster holes. Think about that for a second. We're this far into the offseason, and contenders are still scrambling. Pete Alonso signed, Dylan Cease signed, Edwin Diaz signed. But the three guys every franchise wants, they're still unsigned. Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, Cody Bellinger. So the question becomes, what do all these teams still actually need? Because some of them can wait it out. Some of them are in real trouble. And some of them have already made the decision that they're willing to lose in order to save money. Today, we're breaking down the 10 teams with the most critical needs heading into the final stretch. The Yankees have been surprisingly quiet this offseason. And for a team that just lost in the ALCS, that should worry you. No major signings, no blockbuster trades, just waiting. Waiting on Cody Bellinger to accept their offer. Waiting for the bullpen market to come to them. Waiting while every other contender is making moves. The Yankees thought Cody Bellinger was a done deal 2 months ago, but his agent Scott Boras is demanding 7 years, and the Yankees have not met him there. So they're locked in a standoff with one of the best available outfielders in baseball, and nobody's blinking. Even if they somehow get Bellinger signed, their bullpen is a disaster. They ranked 23rd in ERA at 4.37 last year, and the market got cleaned out around them. They lost Devin Williams to the Mets, Edwin Diaz went to the Dodgers, Robert Suarez signed elsewhere, Kyle Finnegan's gone. So the Yankees are now banking on internal improvement and hoping guys have bounce back years. But at least the Yankees still have most of their position players. Cross town to the Mets, and it's a completely different disaster. They got dismantled this offseason. Pete Alonso walked to Baltimore, Edwin Diaz signed with the Dodgers, and they traded Jeff McNeil and Brandon Nimmo. Now, their outfield is actually concerning. Juan Soto's there, but beyond him, they've got Tyrone Taylor and Carson Bench, their number 2 prospect, who may not be ready for everyday at-bats. The Mets are desperate enough that they've been mentioned as potential landing spots for Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger. But those are lottery tickets, not actual plans. They don't seem to want to go past 2 or 3 year deals. Austin Hayes might be their most realistic option, but that doesn't solve the fundamental problem. The Mets also lost every single player they traded for at the deadline. Gregory Soto, Tyler Rogers, Ryan Helsley, Cedric Mullins, all gone. All those deadline acquisitions that were supposed to make them contenders, they left in free agency. So not only do they have massive holes in their outfield, they also have catastrophic gaps in their starting rotation and bullpen. Now we move up to Boston, where the Red Sox at least made one smart move. They traded for Wilson Contreras from the Cardinals. The problem is they still have a massive hole at either second or third base. Alex Bregman is the dream target. They're trying to bring him back after he became a free agent, a generational hitter that would completely transform their lineup. The issue, Boston's reportedly only willing to offer 4 years, and Bregman wants longer security. So either they overpay to close that gap, or they settle for someone else who doesn't move the needle the same way. There's no winning scenario here unless they budge. Now we move north to Toronto, where the Blue Jays actually understand what it takes to win. They just lost in the World Series. They know exactly what they need. Left-handed power in the middle of the lineup. And Kyle Tucker is the answer. The only problem is he's asking for $400 million. Here's what's wild. There are reports this week that Toronto might actually be willing to pay it. That's the difference between a team that's serious about winning and a team that's just going through the motions. If Tucker signs with the Blue Jays, their entire lineup dynamic changes overnight. The Orioles have been one of the most aggressive teams in the AL East. They didn't wait for the markets to come to them. They gave Pete Alonso 5 years and $155 million. Then they went to Tampa Bay and traded 4 prospects for Shane Baz. They're not waiting, they're building right now. But even after all that aggressive spending, they still have a gap. They need bullpen depth behind Ryan Helsley, who they're betting on a bounce back year. So Baltimore is actively hunting for that veteran reliever to complete the back of the pen, as well as another starting pitcher. Moving to Philadelphia, the Phillies have got a messy situation with JT Realmuto. This negotiation has been dragging on for months. The Phillies made an offer, 2 years, around $30 to $35 million, and they're still waiting on his response. But Realmuto's been down this road before. Back in 2021, he felt undervalued during contract talks. Those scars don't heal quickly. The longer this stretches, the more likely he walks. Other teams are already circling. If Realmuto leaves Philadelphia, they're looking at Victor Caratini or Jonah Heim as backups. That's not the catcher situation a contender needs if they want to compete in the NL East. Out in Chicago, the Cubs have been quietly rebuilding their bullpen, signing Phil Matone, Hunter Harvey, and re-signing Caleb Thielbar. But here's the problem. They lost some of their primary relievers from last year. Rod Keller, Drew Pomeranz, and Andrew Kittredge are all gone. But the rotation might be worse. Their top target is Japanese pitcher Tatsuya Imai, and he's got a January 2nd deadline to sign. If they miss on Imai, Zach Gallen is the fallback. He had a 4.83 ERA last year, but the Cubs like buying low. They could also explore trades for a pitcher like Edward Cabrera. Bottom line, the Cubs need at least one more quality starter and multiple bullpen arms before opening day. The Dodgers made their big move already, signing Edwin Diaz away from the Mets on a 3-year, $69 million deal. That filled their major need in the bullpen. Now, the only real upgrade left is second base, and that's where Bo Bichette keeps getting mentioned. It actually makes a lot of sense. He can play second base, fits their competitive timeline, and the Dodgers have the payroll flexibility most teams don't. So let's see if the rich get richer and the Dodgers sign Bichette. In Cincinnati, the Reds have been quietly building, but they're still missing a legitimate power bat in the middle of their order. Kyle Schwarber went to Philadelphia, so that's off the board. Cody Bellinger is still in play if he doesn't land in New York or Toronto. His left-handed swing would fit perfectly at Great American Ballpark. The question is whether the Reds ownership actually opens the wallet. If not, Austin Hayes becomes a more affordable fallback option. And then there's San Francisco. The Giants have been surprisingly quiet, given how aggressive they were back in November. They've still got two clear holes, right field and second base. Right field is a premium spot with limited options available. Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger are the dream targets, but both carry massive price tags. Second base keeps circling back to Bo Bichette. Mike Schilt, the former Padres manager, called the Giants a perfect fit for him this week. If San Francisco actually commits to Bichette, they've got one of the best infields in baseball. They also have the payroll space to do it. The question is whether they actually will. So that's what 10 contenders still need after Christmas. And here's what matters. 3 guys control the entire market. Kyle Tucker at $400 million, Alex Bregman with no takers beyond 4 years, and Cody Bellinger stuck in a standoff with the Yankees over contract length. The second one of them signs, everything cascades. Trades accelerate, prices adjust, teams scramble. These 10 franchises are all waiting for that first domino to fall. Which team do you think is best positioned to capitalize when it does? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And thanks for watching this video. Check out our apparel at baseballauthority.com. We'll see you on the next one.